Today, I'm going to share with you how you can make $5 million a day as a solo player in GTA Online. But before we get into the video, I first want to preface it by saying that in order to make this much money per day, you do have to have a handful of businesses. So if you're someone who's new to the game or don't have much money in the game, I will leave a link to a guide in the description down below on how you could go from $0 to 10 million as a new player. But with that being said, the first thing we'll need to do for the money grind is to set up our passive businesses. And the first one to set up is the nightclub. Now there's two ways to make money with the nightclub. You can make money with the wall safe and with the warehouse. For the purpose of this money grind, we're only going to focus on the wall safe because you need considerably less to set it up, but I will talk about the warehouse section at the very end of the video for those of you who are able to set it up. Now the way the wall safe works is depending on how much popularity your nightclub has, a set amount of money will be deposited into the wall safe every in-game day or 48 minutes, and the max is $50,000 if you have maximum popularity. Now there's a few ways to increase your nightclub popularity, but there are two that are by far the best. The first way is to toss out disturbances in the nightclub. They show up as little blue blips on the minimap. All you have to do is walk up to them, toss them out, and you'll get some money and nightclub popularity. There is a small trick you could use. If you enter your nightclub while in passive mode, you'll be guaranteed to get one of those troublemakers to pop up right away. The other best way to increase your nightclub popularity is to head over to the nightclub computer, and in it you're able to rebook or book new DJs. Every time you book a new DJ, it will cost 100 grand, but you will have your popularity completely refilled. And if you rebook a DJ for $10,000, you'll have 10% of your popularity bar filled. So with that, do whatever method you'd like, but make sure you completely fill up your nightclub popularity so that you'll be earning money through the wall safe. Also, make sure to get the staff upgrade for the nightclub. It will reduce the rate at which you lose nightclub popularity every in-game day. The next thing to set up is the acid lab. In order to get it, you'll have to complete the 6 first dose missions and make sure to do 10 fooligan missions to unlock the equipment upgrade for the acid lab. Once you've done that, you can then purchase supplies from Mutt for $60,000, and over time, those supplies will be turned into product, which you could sell for a profit, which we'll do at the end of the money grind. But at the beginning here, purchase supplies and then go and use the speed boost in the acid lab. This will speed up the rate at which your supplies are turned into product. So once the nightclub and the acid lab are set up, we're now going to move on to the third passive income business. This is the newest business in the game. I wanted to add it in to make it more fun. That is the Salvage Yard. Now there's a few ways to make money with the business, but we're going to focus on two. The first is by towing cars so that we could salvage them at the Salvage Yard, and the second way is through the wall safe. But these two are connected. So if you have a tow truck with your Salvage Yard, you're then able to do these tow truck missions where you go out, you bring a car back, and then people or workers at your salvage yard will break down that car for parts, which will make you money. Now, each car that is towed and salvaged will make you anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000, and you could have 2 being salvaged at a time. So right away, we're going to do 2 tow truck missions, bring 2 cars back, and have them both salvaging at the same time. I do also suggest getting an extra staff member for the business because then the cars will be salvaged in 48 minutes, whereas if you only have 1 staff member, they're going to be salvaged in double the time. So once those 2 cars are salvaged, it means it's going to make you roughly 60 to 100 grand in partially passive income over the next 48 minutes to about an hour and a half. But not only that, for each time you tow a vehicle and salvage a vehicle, it's essentially like filling up your nightclub popularity, but for the Salvage Yard wall safe. So there isn't an actual popularity bar, if you want to call it that, but you are increasing the amount of money that will be deposited into the Salvage Yard wall safe every in-game day. So salvaging those 2 cars now means that we're going to earn roughly $20,000 to $25,000 in the nightclub wall safe every in-game day. And once that's done, you've now set up all of the passive or partially passive income businesses. Now we can move on to the main part of the money grind, which starts off with a payphone hit. Now, in order to unlock the payphone hits, you first have to have an agency and complete 3 security contracts. Once you've done that, you can then call up Franklin and request a payphone hit, which is a simple assassination mission. They take about 5 minutes to do, and if you complete the assassination with the bonus, you could then earn $85,000. So a great way to make money. They do have a 48-minute cooldown, which is why we're doing them right now. But once you've done your first payphone hit, you could then get into your first Cayo Perico heist. In order to do the heist, you'll have to have the Kasaka submarine, but the way the heist works is you essentially sneak onto a private island, take loot from around the island, take a primary target from inside a central compound, and then if you could escape the island successfully, you will earn anywhere between $800,000 to $900,000 all the way up to 1.6 million. It takes anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half to complete, depending on what vehicles you have for the setup missions and how used to the heist you are. But on average, the heist takes roughly 1 hour to complete and you'll make roughly $1 million. Now there is a 2.5 hour cooldown before you can do it again on this character, which is why we're actually going to bypass that cooldown and go over to our secondary character on our account. To do that, all you have to do is go over to online in your pause menu, go down to manage characters, and when you pop up into the managing characters screen, you're going to have your main character and then a secondary character for your account. All you have to do is switch over to that secondary character, and then we can start up another Cayo Perico heist. But of course, you will have to have another Kasaka submarine on your secondary character's account, so you will have to buy in total 2 of them. Now, luckily, the 2 characters share the same bank account, so all you have to do is have the 2.2 million on your main character in your bank, and then you could buy it with your secondary character on the other account. And I know you're spending more money, but I promise you it is completely worth it because we're then able to do another Cayo Perico heist right away, essentially bypassing the cooldown for the first one. So first, tow 2 more cars and do a payphone hit on the main account, and then go over to the secondary account. So with that being said, we're then going to spend another hour or so on a Cayo Perico heist and make roughly $1 million. From there, we could then head back to our main account. We're going to tow 2 more cars, do another payphone hit. Now is the time to resupply your nightclub popularity, so go in passive mode, toss out a troublemaker, that's the easiest way to do it, and it's also the best time to resupply your acid lab by calling up Mutt and purchasing supplies for $60,000. Now, although we did in a way bypass the cooldown on the main account by doing a Cayo Perico heist on the second account, it doesn't mean that the cooldown on the main account isn't going on, so we still have roughly an hour and a half left before we could do another Cayo Perico heist. So in this time, we're now going to do a Dr. Dre contract, which requires you to have an agency. Now, the way the Dr. Dre contract works is it's essentially a large heist. You have 3 mini heists, 2 finale missions, and at the end of it, you get paid out $1 million. Although all in, with money from all of the different missions, you're roughly making about $1.1 million in roughly an hour and a half. Now, if you're having trouble completing the Dr. Dre contract or the Cayo Perico heist, I will leave links in the description down below to both of my guides for that. It makes it a lot easier. But once you complete the Dr. Dre contract, then go and tow 2 more cars, do another payphone hit, and then we're going to get into the final Cayo Perico heist on the main account. But if you're doing it right after everything, the Cayo Perico heist will then be in hard mode, meaning that all of the loot will get a 10% buff, and for the elite challenge, you'll make $100,000 instead of $50,000, which means you should be making roughly $1.1 million this time through instead of the normal $1 million. Once you complete the heist, we're then going to go and do an acid lab sell mission, because at this time, your acid lab should be completely full. If you sell it in a private lobby, you'll make $335,000, but I do suggest selling it in a public lobby with 25 or more people, because you will get a bonus, taking that sale all the way up to $500,000 to $520,000. And although selling in a public lobby can be quite daunting because you could be griefed, the acid lab only has 1 sell vehicle, making things easier, and you could use Ghost Organization through your CEO abilities tab, which will take you and your product off the radar for 3 minutes. So I suggest selling in a public lobby. That's going to be then another $500,000, meaning in total, you'll have made $400,000 profit. And then from there, you could go and clean out your nightclub wall safe, which should have made you anywhere between $200,000 to $250,000, and go clear out your Salvage Yard wall safe, which should have made you well over $100,000. And with that, you should have made at the very least $5 million, if not well over $5 million. All in, when I did it, I made 5.8 million, which is considerably more than the title of this video, but I wanted to keep it safe just in case any of you did not get the elite challenge for the Cayo Perico heist, or you didn't get the challenge for the payphone hits, or whatever it may be. Even if we faltered in some areas, we should be making at the very least $5 million. But before we finish off the video, I quickly want to explain the warehouse section of the nightclub, because it can make you an additional few $100,000 throughout this entire process. So The way the warehouse works is you have up to 5 technicians that you could hire and assign to source you 5 different types of product, and they will source you that product just so long as you're in an online lobby. So there are 7 different products you could assign the technicians to, but there are 5 that are by far the best. The only catch is that in order to assign a technician to source you a certain type of product, you have to own a corresponding business in the game. But with that being said, here are the 5 products and the businesses you need to own. First is cargo and shipments, which you need a CEO cargo crate warehouse or a hangar for. Second is sporting goods, which you need a bunker for. Third is South American imports, which you need a Coca-Cola lockup for. Fourth is pharmaceutical research, which you need a blue stuff lab for. And fifth is cash creation, which you need a counterfeit cash factory for. If you have all 5 technicians assigned to those 5 products and have the equipment upgrade for the nightclub, they will then source you $50,000 worth of product in your nightclub warehouse every hour, which you could sell at any point for a profit. So because this money grind takes about 5 hours to do, it means that you'll make an additional 250 grand on top of everything we've already made so far, taking you up to roughly $6 million in a single day. Anyways, with that being said, this is how you can make $5 million a day as a solo player in GTA Online. I hope it helped. If it did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.